When Yaman sat down for what was supposed to be just another interview, no one expected the shocking words that would soon escape his lips. His usual composure seemed to falter, his eyes betraying a storm of emotions he could no longer contain. For years, fans have speculated about the truth behind his bond with Demet Özdemir, the woman who stood beside him in some of the most unforgettable moments of his career. Yet this time, something was different. There was no scripted performance, no rehearsed charm. Instead, the raw honesty of a man who had been carrying a heavy truth for far too long finally surfaced. "Demet," he whispered, his voice trembling just enough for the microphones to capture, "you're the missing piece in my life," the audience gasped. Those words weren't just a casual statement, they were an admission, a confession that broke down the walls he had spent years building around himself. This wasn't the confident actor the world had seen on screen, portraying characters who conquered hearts effortlessly. This was Yaman, the man behind the fame, confessing to a void only one person could fill. But why now? Why after so many years of silence, rumors, and carefully constructed narratives? Some insiders claim that had reached his breaking point. The weight of pretending, of moving forward while constantly being pulled back into memories of what could have been, finally became too much to bear. He knew that the world was watching, but in that moment, it didn't matter. All that mattered was Demet, and the truth he could no longer hide. For Demet, hearing those words must have been both shocking and heartbreaking. Their history is woven with undeniable chemistry, unforgettable projects, and whispers of a romance that transcended the screen. They had been the golden couple of Turkish television, their names linked together in countless headlines, their faces gracing magazines with captions that spoke of love, passion, and destiny. Yet behind closed doors, their story was far more complicated. Breakups, misunderstandings, careers pulling them in different directions, all of it had left scars that neither could fully erase. Still, the connection remained. And now, with Cannes' emotional appeal echoing across the globe, the question arises, will Demet respond? Will she see his words as an olive branch, a final attempt to heal the wounds of the past? Or will she remain silent, protecting her own heart from reopening chapters she once fought hard to close? Fans, of course, are in turmoil. Social media exploded within minutes of the interview airing, hashtags like #LoveShock and #CanandDemet forever trending worldwide. Some declared this the most romantic confession of the decade, while others warned Demet not to fall for what they saw as Cannes' sudden vulnerability. Whatever the opinion, one thing is certain, the truth is finally out, and it changes everything. The power of Yaman's words didn't just come from their content, but from the way he delivered them. His voice cracked in a way that fans had never heard before, revealing a fragile side hidden beneath his usual strong image. For years, Can had been known as the fearless leading man, the untouchable figure adored by millions across Italy, Turkey, and beyond. But that night, the facade slipped, and the world witnessed a man stripped of his armor. "Demet," he continued, pausing as if searching for the right words, "without you, everything feels incomplete." Those around him say his eyes filled with tears, his hands trembling slightly as he held onto the microphone. It wasn't rehearsed, it couldn't have been. It was too raw, too imperfect, too human. And that was what made it unforgettable. Insiders close to the actor suggest that Can had been carrying this unspoken truth for years. Ever since the days of filming Erkenci Kuss, when he and Demet became an unstoppable duo on and off screen, there had been something between them that no one could deny. Their laughter between takes, the subtle glances, the undeniable electricity, everyone saw it. Yet, as their careers skyrocketed, so did the pressures of fame, gossip, and expectations. Demet, on her part, had always handled questions about Can with grace and caution. She never confirmed, never denied, always choosing her words carefully. But now, with Cannes' confession echoing across tabloids and social media platforms, silence might no longer be an option. The world is waiting for her reaction. Fans dissect every detail, her Instagram posts, her public appearances, even the way she smiles during unrelated interviews. Was she hiding a secret response? Was she still holding on to old wounds that Cannes' sudden confession had ripped open? Or perhaps, deep down, she had been waiting for this moment, waiting for him to finally admit what everyone had suspected all along. What makes this revelation even more shocking is the timing. Ken had been rumored to be linked with other women, names constantly thrown into the mix by gossip magazines. From Italian actresses to international models, he was often seen as the elusive bachelor whose love life was forever under a microscope. But never, never, did he speak about anyone the way he spoke about Demet. The contrast was clear. Others may have been passing chapters, but Demet was the story he could never finish writing. In that moment, the spotlight shifted entirely. It wasn't about his career, his upcoming projects, or his status as a global heartthrob. It was about a man admitting to the world, and perhaps more importantly, to himself, that the one thing he truly longed for wasn't fame or fortune, but the love of the woman who had once been by his side. The audience present at the interview described an eerie silence after his words, followed by a thunderous applause. People weren't just reacting to a celebrity confession, they were responding to a truth so raw and relatable that it cut through the glamour of show business. Who hasn't had a missing piece in their life, someone whose absence feels like a wound that refuses to heal? Can's appeal was more than a personal revelation, it was a mirror of human vulnerability, shared on the grandest stage possible. As the world replayed Yaman's words again and again, the impact grew like a tidal wave. Clips of the interview flooded TikTok and Instagram within minutes, reaching millions across continents. Fans in Turkey wept at the sight of their beloved actor exposing such raw emotion, while Italian tabloids plastered his confession across front pages with headlines screaming of love, heartbreak, and redemption. But behind the spectacle lay a deeper truth. This was not just about entertainment. It was about two people who had once shared something genuine, something that fans had only glimpsed in stolen moments and lingering looks on set. And now, years later, one of them had chosen to bare his soul in front of the entire world. Close friends of Kim revealed that he had been struggling in silence for months leading up to this moment. The success of his career, the glamorous events, the magazine covers, all of it began to feel hollow. No amount of fame could silence the echo of Demet's absence in his life. He reportedly confided in a friend, saying, "What's the point of having everything, if the person who matters most isn't there to share it with me?" That friend, according to whispers, urged him to finally speak his truth. And when he did, it sent shockwaves across the globe. For Demet, the situation became far more complicated. At the time of Can's revelation, she had been focusing intensely on her own career, building projects that showcased her independence and strength. She had worked tirelessly to step out of the shadow of her past relationships, carving a name for herself not just as an actress but as a strong, resilient woman. And yet, Can's words pulled her right back into the spotlight she had been trying to move beyond. Her fans flooded her social media, tagging her in clips of the confession, begging for a response. Some wrote comments like, "Please, Demet, give him another chance," while others warned, "Don't let old wounds reopen." Every gesture she made in public, every subtle expression, was scrutinized for meaning. If she smiled, they wondered if she was secretly touched. If she stayed quiet, they assumed she was heartbroken. What made matters even more intriguing was the fact that Demet herself had, not too long ago, hinted in an interview that she still carried certain regrets. She had said, "Sometimes we make decisions in the moment that we think are right, but later, we wonder what would have happened if we had chosen differently." Though she never mentioned Ken by name, fans were quick to draw connections. Now, with his direct and emotional appeal, those words seemed almost prophetic. Meanwhile, Can's confession began to influence more than just fans, it caught the attention of the entertainment industry itself. Producers, directors, and networks suddenly saw the undeniable chemistry between Can and Demet not as a closed chapter, but as an opportunity waiting to be reignited. Whispers of a possible reunion project started to swirl, with insiders speculating that if Demet were to respond positively, the two could star together once more, perhaps in a romantic drama that mirrored their real-life story. The mere possibility sent fans into a frenzy. But at the heart of all the noise was something far simpler, a man's heart laid bare. "You're the missing piece of my life," Ken had said. And those words, repeated endlessly across screens and headlines, carried a power no script could manufacture. It was more than a confession, it was a plea, a desperate attempt to bridge the distance of years and mistakes. The unanswered question hung heavily in the air: would Demet let those words reach her heart? Or would she guard herself, protecting her peace from the chaos that such a reunion could bring? As days passed after Yaman's emotional confession, the silence from Demet Özdemir grew louder than any statement could have been. Every hour without her response fueled the media storm. Talk shows debated endlessly: was she secretly preparing a heartfelt reply? Or was she choosing to distance herself once and for all? Paparazzi followed her every move, hoping to capture even the smallest hint, a glance, a tear, a subtle smile, that might reveal what she truly felt. Yet, despite the frenzy, Demet remained graceful and calm. She attended events, posed for cameras, and kept her composure. But those who know her well whispered that behind closed doors, she was shaken. Can's words had reopened old memories, the late-night conversations on set, the laughter that carried between takes, the moments when their eyes met and the entire world seemed to fade away. Those weren't just scenes in a drama, they were fragments of a love story that had left a permanent mark on her soul. Meanwhile, Can avoided the spotlight. After the interview, he retreated from public appearances, choosing instead to stay out of sight. Insiders claimed he had said everything he needed to say. His appeal wasn't for fame, nor was it a publicity stunt, it was simply his truth. He had given Demet, and the world, a glimpse of his heart, and now all he could do was wait. And the world waited with him. Fans lit up social media with campaigns, writing messages like "Demet, he needs you" and "Love deserves a second chance." Others took the opposite view, warning her not to be swept away by the tide of nostalgia. Still, the dominant emotion was one of hope. Hope that love, even after years of silence, could find its way back. Then came the unexpected twist. A post appeared on Demet's social media, a simple photo of a puzzle, with one missing piece. No caption, no explanation. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Was this her answer? Was she silently acknowledging Can's words, his claim that she was the missing piece in his life? Fans flooded the comments, convinced this was no coincidence. Whether it was deliberate or not, that single image reignited the flame. Headlines once again screamed of reconciliation, and the possibility of a love reborn captured hearts everywhere. The silence between them had transformed into a new kind of dialogue, one that didn't need words, only symbols. And so, the story of Can and Demet remains suspended in that delicate space between past and future. His confession, "You're the missing piece in my life," echoes endlessly, not only in the hearts of fans but in hers as well. Whether they reunite or continue their separate paths, one thing is undeniable: their connection is unbreakable, a force that transcends time, distance, and circumstance. In the end, Can's emotional appeal wasn't just a confession, it was a reminder that love, once felt so deeply, never truly disappears. It lingers, it waits, and sometimes, when the world least expects it, it resurfaces with the power to change everything. And as millions continue to watch and wait, one question remains: will Demet step forward to complete the puzzle, or will she leave that missing piece forever untouched? The answer, when it comes, will be nothing short of history in the making.